right, so here at the top left-hand corner of Xel'Naga Fortress, we have MVP viOlet spawning as our orange Zerg player. And down here, the bottom left-hand corner in viOlet is Startail Trickster. He is our purple Protoss player. So
yeah, and Trickster is actually Korean for orange, so you can see why I'm so confused.
I didn't know that.
Okay, I'm lying.
The more you know.
Trickster, actually, I've heard this, but I'm unable to confirm because I don't speak Korean. Su is his actual name, and I believe it's a play on words, like the Korean word for Trickster is something like Sukesu or something similar. Okay. So it's like a play on words for his own name, but Trickster is kind of a decent name anyway.
I didn't know that part. I knew
like,
the Sukesu part because Artosis says it all the freaking time.
Well, it used to be Tester.
Yes.
And now he's Trickster, and people are like, why the slight change? It's because it's kind of a play on words. From what I understand, I could be totally wrong again.
Okay, cool.
I don't speak Korean, but Custom...
It's a shame.
Custom is just his account that he's playing on for this. Don't be confused by Custom versus Fenrir. It's actually viOlet and Trickster.
I'm curious as to what server this was actually played on, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if Trickster was already in the States when he was participating at MLG.
Maybe.
So maybe this was played on the NA server. I'm not actually sure. But this is Startail's generic account. As you can see, the ST is highlighted. And that's their custom account. So cute.
I like how Mouse does it, too. They use Mouse Nova and Mouse Tosh, which are, of course, characters from the campaign. Yep. So any of their European players can hop over to North America and hop on those Mouse and Tosh accounts. But now the game is starting to unfold a little bit, although there's nothing out of the ordinary at all. I mean, gas first speedling builds are pretty much the norm against Protoss opponents just because pylons can be so annoying when you try to drop a natural hatchery, and Protoss basically do the same thing every game. The second gas is oh, that's not even a second gas, it's just a second pylon. All right, yes. So yeah, he's super normal as well. I was going to say second gas could be indicative of some tech or something, but...
Yeah, if he was going second gas before Cybernetics score, then certainly.
Yeah, but so far everything is pretty much normal here.
Standard. Probe going to make its way out to continue killing this drone. No, Castile. You wanted a sentry expand, you will not get a sentry expand. We'll see what Startail Trickster does in response to that, as we'll see if that extractor gets canceled and continue to rebuild a number of times. On the other hand, though, we do have this probe posturing its way back and forth and actually forced this drone back home that was going to drop down the hatchery. Now it looks like viOlet is going to put down a queen, a few lings, and things like that to drive off the probe, which is actually not there anymore. So certainly going to make its way out, and we'll see a drone here in just a second.
It's pretty good defense. Prevention is the best defense. They just killed lings because he thought it was coming, and then Trickster left with his probe because he knew the lings were coming. So they could have metagamed, and neither of them done either of those things. That would be crazy. But yeah, just Chrono Boost on another Zealot, trying to get that that ramp blocked completely while Zealot number 1 deals with this extractor threat in the main and builds an assimilator on top of its bloodied remains.
And what the threat it actually was. But let's see here. So Trickster's not really shown his hand. His gas is, of course, late, but not unreasonably late, so we can still put down some sort of an expand build, but no. A couple of Zerglings are able to get into the main, so they're going to be quite annoying and make their way through, checking for any sort of hidden tech, and actually don't see anything at the moment. The Zergling, hopefully it stays alive for a little bit longer. That was a little silly. I thought viOlet would have tried to keep that alive and at least gain some more scouting information.
Absolutely embarrassing. No. He obviously wanted to try and get a probe kill as well, but the probe was just like, no, I'm going to turn around and laser your face. But now we've got lots of gateways coming up, and it's too late for viOlet to actually scout it unless he sacks that Overlord that's just above his base. Could take a while for him to actually want to do that. Instead, he's just keeping that pretty good coverage around the map. His natural hatchery is going to be done in just a moment, but so far he's really only been building macro tools, drones, overlords, queens, hatcheries, things like that, things that don't do damage for the most part. So those lings are pretty much all he's got to defend anything in his base. The Zealot, Sentry, and Stalker combination just, trudging around. Perhaps viOlet, or Trickster, excuse me, is going to feign like he's going to drop a natural expansion or something like that, but could just be massing, looking for good places to drop pylons on his way north.
And there is the pylon on the low ground. Of course, viOlet's going to know that this is a little bit late if this is a straight-up 3-gate expand. I don't know if he'll chalk that up to the harassment he was doing, or, well, actually, 400 resources, there's a Nexus. So we'll see if this becomes a Nexus cancel build, like you were mentioning before, feigning towards an expansion or something like that, and then he just all-out 4 gates or something along those lines, or if this is actually going to stick around. Nonetheless, Well, viOlet does scout the expansion, and we'll see how he responds. At the moment, it's just a lot of drones.
I remember the first time I saw that Nexus cancel 4-gate, and it just looked so mean. Like no one else was doing it, and when I saw that Nexus cancel, I was like, oh, that's like 3 more warping units too. It's just so good if you have the pylon already in place, but it looks like I don't know. It's hard to say because I don't want to commit. I don't want to commit and say that he's definitely keeping that now, even though he is building the wall off with the forge.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, the wall's already there, so I do imagine that this Nexus is going to stay up. I mean, again, he could do a really dastardly cancel and then do +1 4-gate, but he's starting to get to the point where viOlet's going to be able to realize his production, and it'll be a little bit more difficult to pull that off. Nonetheless, a few Zerglings camping over here on the right-hand side. They are going to be able to get a nice mid-late game scout here in a few minutes.
Maybe they're not going to be able to scout anything if he stays on top of that ramp.
That's true, actually.
But it looks like the Overlord may have actually sacrificed itself. If we can grab violet's vision, we can take a quick look, see how many gateways he saw. Yeah, I think that Overlord did actually make its way across the natural. I'm not sure if it's this one down in the bottom of the minimap that looks like it may have survived. That could be a different one, but yeah, either way, he saw everything he needed to, so he's at least going to be prepared. And it looks like 10 drones coming out for viOlet. He still is not building very many fighting forces here.
Yeah, this is actually, I don't know, it's odd. He actually sacrificed quite a bit of early economy, and that has started to affect him a little bit exponentially because he doesn't have as many workers as he should for as few units as he has on the ground right now. But nonetheless, viOlet does manage to get, nope, denied, nope, not denied. You are denied, Trickster. I'm going to quit with this. Anyway.
How many probes will he get? I guess 2.
Oh, that's a good one. Set the over-under at 3.
I saw 1.
Oh,
I saw 2. 3, 4. Oh, that heroing.
It was the over. Collect your cash with the cashier at the front, please. If you don't mind.
You have to show your ID too, just like in Atlantic City.
Yes. And so here we go. Trickster going to make his way across the map. There's already a pretty good defensive position here, and actually a sport crawler about to come up. Is he worried about DTs? I don't think he's worried about Stargate at this point. Bailiness on the way as well, but viOlet has been on 2 base for quite a long period of time, and Trickster's going to be able to pull ahead here pretty quick.
Trickster's looking very strong here. I mean, viOlet just doesn't have much stuff or tech, so these spine crawlers are going to be the first line of defense. These lings are going to be held out by a good round of force fields there, and Trickster's still looking very strong. The Guardian Shield's helping against that spine crawler damage, and now he can continue to press in here without having lost anything and actually kick out 2 of those spine crawlers. Lings trying to get in, but when they trickle in like that and don't get a pulse around, it's just very ineffective. Now come more zealots here to join the fight. There's a pylon very close behind where Trickster's attacking from, and he's gaining more supply on his Zerg opponent. Lots and lots of drones being pulled here. On the left side, the sentries and stalkers are happy to shoot lasers directly into their faces, and that zealot over there is tanking 2 queens and a spine crawler. What a boss zealot, but there's the crazy symbol. And Trickster takes game 1
as a GG.
But yeah, allow it.
Very good. Allow it. The sentries were sitting there for so long at the beginning of the game. They were not under any pressure whatsoever, and they all had max energy when they made their way across the map. And we saw what the disgusting in-game map editor for the Protoss player did there.
People are